I never thought checking my inbox could ruin my entire career. IT started on a rainy Tuesday morning. The kind where the clouds hang so low you feel like the sky's pressing down on you. I walked into the office of Goldstein and Holloway Consulting, shaking droplets off my coat and heading straight to my desk. I booted up my laptop, just like any other day, and opened my company email. At first glance, everything looked normal. Unread emails, calendar invites, a few flagged messages. But then I saw a thread with the subject line, regarding the breach. In client protocol, urgent. I clicked on it. My heart skipped. It was from Mr. Holloway himself, the founder. It was forwarded to half the executive board, and it was a reply to an email I supposedly sent. The message I allegedly wrote detailed confidential client data. Names, figures, financial breakdowns. Leaked like a dam had burst. I sat frozen. I had never written this. Never even seen the file attached. But there it was, my name, my signature, my exact email style. It looked real. I reread it 3 times, hoping for some sign it was a prank or a phishing scam. It wasn't. At 9:12 a.m., I got a ping on Slack. Please come to the conference room. Now, it was from HR.as. I walked through the cubicles. People turned away from their screens, watching me. Some gave me pitying looks. Others just stared. It felt like walking to an execution. Inside the conference room, 2 people sat at the table, Aaron from HR and David Maynard, our regional director. They didn't even let me sit. David folded his arms. Tell us why you sent that email. I didn't, I said, my throat dry. Someone must have. You're saying someone hacked your account? Aaron cut in. I nodded. Yes. Or someone faked it. I don't know how, but that's not me. David raised an eyebrow. We traced the IP. It came from your device, and the document was uploaded from your folder. That made my legs weak. What? There's a disciplinary review scheduled this Friday, Aaron said, sliding a form across the table. You're being placed on paid leave until then. We strongly advise legal counsel. I stood there, numb, as the weight of it all crashed down on me. My career, my reputation, gone. But one thing wouldn't stop ringing in my head. Who did this? And then I remembered something small, something I'd ignored for weeks. The office bathroom mirror was directly across from the shared desk space. A few times, I'd gone to wash my hands and noticed Jeremy, my project partner, glancing at my screen. Once, I thought he'd even typed something on my laptop when I'd stepped away for a meeting. But we were friends, right? That night. I didn't sleep. I couldn't. I stared at my laptop, trying to dig into my email logs, IP addresses, login history. My hands trembled. The truth had to be there somewhere. At 2:14 a.m. I found it. A remote access session had been opened 3 nights ago. It was brief, just 13 minutes. Enough to copy files, send emails, and cover tracks. It had come from inside the building, and the computer ID matched one from our network registry to Jeremy's machine. Asterisk, I didn't want to believe it. Jeremy and I had worked side by side for 2 years. We'd stayed late on projects, ordered pizza during audits, even went to a couple of networking events together. He knew everything about my routine, when I left my laptop unattended, what my passwords usually looked like, even that I rarely locked my screen when stepping away for just a minute. Now, it felt like I had been training my own saboteur. Next morning, instead of wallowing, I acted. I copied the remote session log and backed it up to a flash drive. Then I started checking my synced folders. That's when I found another smoking gun, a hidden subfolder under my desktop called Q3_sandbox, a name I didn't recognize. Inside were drafts of the leaked email dating back 3 weeks. Someone had been planning this, and that someone had accessed my OneDrive at 3:02 a.m. one night. I was asleep. My computer was off, unless Jeremy, he had once borrowed my work laptop during a late-night sprint. I hadn't even thought about it at the time. I was in meetings, and he needed to check something in our shared reports. He must have installed a remote access tool back then. I needed help. My cousin Sam was a cybersecurity analyst. We hadn't spoken in months, but I called him that afternoon. I told him everything. The email, the fake message, the suspicious access logs. Sam didn't even hesitate. Bring me the laptop, he said. That night, we sat at his place surrounded by 3 monitors and more blinking LEDs than a spaceship. Sam was in his element, typing commands, scanning registry files, tracking background processes. 2 hours in, he looked up from the screen. You were definitely being watched. What do you mean? He turned one monitor toward me. A hidden keylogger app had been running in the background for 29 days. It was sending data to a private server registered to an encrypted domain. But the name of the app? JMay Helper EXE, Jeremy Maynard. I felt sick. That's your guy, Sam said. But if you go to HR with this, they'll spin it. You're already under review. They'll assume you're framing him. We need something undeniable. The next day, I went back into the office to pack up my things under supervision. Jeremy was there too, chatting casually with some interns by the break room. He gave me a nod. Rough week, huh? I forced a smile. Yeah, just bad luck, I guess. He didn't know what I knew, and I wasn't about to tip him off that I needed access to his machine, even just for a minute. That opportunity came faster than I expected. I was walking past the IT room when I overheard one of the junior techs. Jeremy asked me to re-image his laptop. Says it's running slow. I stopped in my tracks. He was wiping it. He knew. Maybe he'd seen the access logs too. Maybe he'd gotten paranoid. Or maybe he was just clearing the last of the evidence that I had to move. Fast that I texted Sam. Me. He's wiping his laptop. What can we do? Sam, do you have access now? Me. No, but maybe tomorrow. Sam, don't confront him. Don't panic. Get me the serial number on his machine. If I can match it to the IP in your logs, that's chain of custody. We'll pin him. That night, I made a plan. I wasn't going down alone. I'd worked too hard, sacrificed too much, and if Jeremy wanted to play dirty, find out I'd show him how dirty could really look. Asterisk the next morning, I got in earlier than usual. That Jeremy's laptop was still at the IT desk, untouched, waiting to be re-imaged. I slipped in when no one was watching and found the label on the bottom. Serial hashtag JM2487, KL092. I snapped a photo and sent it to Sam immediately. 0.5 minutes later, he replied, confirmed. That machine accessed your OneDrive, keylogger installed. From this device, remote IP matches. You've got him, but it still wasn't enough. Not in the eyes of HR. I needed one more piece. Something personal, something damning. That's when I remembered something strange. A shared folder we used for compiling final reports. We each had private access logs on the back end to track who edited what. Most people didn't even know it existed. I pulled it up. Jeremy had accessed and copied the Q2 financial summary doc at 2:43 a.m., 2 days before the leaked email was sent out using my account. I checked metadata. The draft of the email had been pasted from that report, word for word. He used confidential language from that doc to make the email seem legitimate. He didn't just frame me. He fabricated the entire thing from internal data that he must have sent it to one of our clients using an anonymous tip line. That explained why legal was panicking so badly. I took all of it, screenshots, logs, timestamps, and compiled a zip folder I titled Insurance. Then I waited. That afternoon, HR called me back in. Lisa from compliance sat with a stony expression. We've reviewed your file. Regardless of intent, your account was used in a breach of protocol that caused reputational damage. I stayed quiet. She continued. Given this, we'll be moving forward with your termination. You'll be given a severance, and I slid the flash drive across the table. I think you'll want to look at this before you finalize anything. She frowned. What is this? Evidence that the leak didn't come from me. She looked skeptical. This isn't how this process works. I don't care how it works. Look at the drive. She reluctantly connected it to her laptop. As she scrolled through the contents, the keylogger name, the OneDrive logs, the draft timestamps. Her expression changed, from frustration to confusion to something approaching disbelief. Who helped you find all this? A friend. Off the record. You realize if this is accurate, it means another employee, Jeremy Maynard. It was him. She paused. Then, we'll need to verify these logs with IT. If this checks out, we'll be speaking to Mr. Maynard. I stood. I'll wait for your call. For 2 days, I heard nothing. I thought maybe they were going to bury it, sweep it under the rug. But then, Friday morning, I walked into the building to grab my things. Jeremy's desk was empty, totally cleared out. HR called me that afternoon. Your termination has been reversed, and we're issuing a formal apology. You'll receive a full back pay bonus, and legal may be in contact for testimony. I hung up, relieved, but not satisfied. That I needed to know why Jeremy had done it. That answer came from an unexpected place. A week later, Sam texted me. You ever look through Jeremy's external backups? He attached a decrypted folder he'd found on Jeremy's machine before it got wiped. Inside were files, dozens of them. Some about me, others about other employees. Jeremy had been spying on several people, payroll managers, compliance officers, even our own CFO. What the hell had he been doing? And more importantly, for who? The more I dug into the decrypted folder Sam had found, the worse it got. Jeremy hadn't just been collecting files, he'd been cataloging weaknesses. Personal schedules, Slack messages, performance reviews, even screen recordings. It was like a surveillance dossier on half the leadership team. I opened one document titled Asset Capture, Phase 1 Complete. The file contained a list of names, departments, and behavioral notes. Mine was at the top, marked with a red tag, unwilling. Framing initiated. There was a second folder, password protected. Sam cracked it with brute force over the weekend. Inside, PDF contracts between Jeremy and an external cybersecurity firm with connections to a rival company. This wasn't personal. It was corporate espionage. Jeremy had been hired to undermine key people in our org, to destabilize internal trust and make the company hemorrhage talent. Each report he submitted to the firm included performance projections, communication habits, and detailed risk analyses. I was just collateral damage. A test run that he framed me to see if the system would catch him. It didn't. Until I pushed back. I compiled everything and brought it to legal. Their jaws dropped when they saw the firm name. Apparently, there had been whispers, anonymous breaches, weird staff turnovers, but no one had ever connected the dots. I did point 2 days later. They went full scorched earth. The company launched an internal task force. Jeremy's access logs were matched to other employees' machines. HR halted all external vendor contracts. Legal got involved at a federal level. And then, the FBI showed up. I didn't even know that was possible. They interviewed me for 4 hours straight. Asked about Jeremy's behavior, access patterns, anything unusual. They told me I might be called as a witness if this escalated to court. I asked them what kind of sentence someone could face for this. The agent replied, if it's proven he was acting on behalf of a competitor with intent to sabotage, easily 10 to 15 years, maybe more. But something still didn't sit right, because as much as Jeremy was clearly guilty, he wasn't smart enough to pull this off alone. The formatting on the PDF reports, the encryption methods, they were too polished, too advanced for a guy who once forgot how to force reboot his MacBook. He was the face, not the brain. Someone else had been pulling the strings. Weeks passed. My name was cleared. I was promoted to senior systems analyst, part of the new security division formed to prevent exactly this kind of breach. It was a bittersweet victory, but the story didn't end there. One night, I got an email from a hidden address. No subject, no body, just an attachment. Do you really think it's over? MP4. My heart dropped. I scanned the file. No malware. It was safe to open. Inside the video, blurry footage from a security cam, grainy audio, a man in a suit speaking with Jeremy in an underground garage, license plates obscured, faces partially hidden, but the voice was clear. Take him out quietly. If he gets in the way again, you know what to do. Jeremy nodded. The video cut off. I don't know who sent it. I don't know how they got it, but I do know one thing. This wasn't over, and now I was in it, deep, not just as an employee, but as a target.